Welcome, everybody, to Canucks.Uncensored. This is a place for raw, live, unfiltered, uncensored commentary about your Vancouver Canucks. Today is a solo show. This is Wit, the Wizard Chow, and I am here to talk about some Vancouver Canucks hockey, some Vancouver Canucks news, and a lot of this show, I want to center it around Elias Pettersson. Elias Pettersson, you mentioned these two words, okay? This player's caliber, and you're gonna get very polarizing, sides, right? It's almost like this guy's John Cena. Let's go Cena. Cena sucks. Like he's like on one hand, like people defend him no matter what. On the other hand, he's really really good when he's on, but we haven't seen that guy for a while now, right? It's almost 3 years. And I want us to talk about the Olympics. I want to talk about when he comes down here. And I just want to go through everything. And the reason why I want to do a solo show is because I want to make sure that people understand something. What Jordan says and what I say can be two different opinions. A lot of times, him and I can agree. But on the show, I don't necessarily always agree with him, and he doesn't necessarily always agree with me, and that is okay. We can also agree to disagree with our guests as well, whether we're on someone's show or they are on our show. Okay? Doesn't matter. I just want to do a solo show and have my thoughts and everything about Elias Pettersson and the Olympics, the Canucks, and Jim Robson. I wanted to open the show and do this one by myself here. Okay, thank you to those of you that are here. Just want to talk about this really quickly. I'm just going to pull this up here. All right. One second. Here we go. Okay. Everybody see my screen here? There we go. Okay. So, this guy is a legend. I wanted to do the show only on Pettersson, but I have to mention this. It is not right if I don't mention this. Legendary broadcaster, the very first one, has now left us. What a legend. I remember him for many, many things. The very, very famous call with Trevor Linden and the other one with Pavel Bure. I really remember that. And this guy's as vintage as they go. And, these people got a lot of knowledge, great memories, and he will for sure be missed. I thought about it for a while too, and it definitely made me sad when I found out about this news. So I wanted to make a graphic, and I wanted to talk about this. I don't know, like with or without Jordan, I wanted to talk about this. So you guys can put any of your favorite memories and stuff of this guy. So many. I was a little bit young to appreciate it more, but I look back at his stuff a lot from before, and man, the calls that he makes, right? It gives you goosebumps, and I'll never ever forget this guy for sure. And I hope you guys don't and we should be very, very happy that he was around for our time. We've been spoiled with all these commentators, people. We've been spoiled, and this guy started it all from the very top, right? So he's done a lot and won't be able to be replicated, right? So rest in peace. Thank you very, very much. And really appreciate you, vintage Jim Robson. Okay. I wanted to do that very, very quickly and respectfully. Before I get into the next graphic here, I don't know if you heard, but we had this very, very, very fun, heated debate on Elias Pettersson last Friday. I do not know if any of you We're here for that. Boy, that was a lot of fire, a lot of heat, a lot of passion, a lot of thoughts. Loved all of it. A lot of people were asking me, why was I, not saying too much? Why was I just sitting there smirking? Well, I have to watch myself. Being a teacher myself, I have to watch what I say and watch what I do. And I have my opinions about Elias Pettersson. You've all heard it before. And I am going to tell you everything I feel about him. I just like to give other people a chance to speak. And this time, I am going to tell you how I feel about Elias Pettersson. Okay. So that everyone knows. Okay. I want to get the record straight. Some people say I say one thing and I mean another. It's like, no. I have a thing about, being mindful of letting other people speak and talking about, whatever they want. Right. But Jordan and I, we do Canucks Uncensored in very different ways. Right. I like to do my Canucks Uncensored style through uncensored stats. Right. Jordan's more on his thoughts and feelings, and that's all. That's okay. He can do that. I do what I do. He does what he does. All right. So this gives me practice to do this alone. Maybe I can get some more people on for an open house later. But I'm gonna get into Elias Pettersson here. Okay. So let me share my screen. Okay. There we go. Okay. Let's do this. Okay. I have many thoughts before I jumped in this graphic. You guys can take the opportunity to read this as I speak. Okay. I have gone at length of talking about Elias Pettersson and that big price tag, 11.6. Talked about it for a long time. I bashed him so bad last year. I really did. Because I truly believe if Pettersson got another 10, 15, 20 points, the Canucks would have made the playoffs that year. How far they would have made it, I don't know. That's a different story. Okay. That even the season before that, where he had 1 point in 6 games for the playoffs and not looking that dangerous, right? Especially after he signed that contract, right? Didn't really look like the same guy. Right? Last year didn't look like the same guy. 40, 45 points. Not good enough. Just off of production. That's not good. And we go to this year and you hear things like, oh man, this guy's come to camp in shape. He's good. I heard that's a little bit overblown. He didn't come to come to the camp in the greatest of shape. He came to camp in good shape, but it wasn't like the top level or whatever. Okay. So, I did let off him this year a little bit here. And, I let off this guy a little bit here, not because I feel bad or anything, has nothing to do with that. I just simply let off this guy because this year, even if Elias Pettersson got a little bit more points, 10, 20 points, we're not a playoff team. We're not. We're not a playoff team, regardless. I mean, the two seasons before, we could have done more with them for sure, but we're not a playoff team with Elias Pettersson, right? Like, just based off of roster construction, you can blame the owner, you can blame the management. There's a lot of blame to go around, especially the regime that gave him this contract. Okay, there's a lot of blame to go around. Okay, but I like to go through the numbers and how a player got to a certain point. Right, like look at his last 5 seasons here: 68 points, 102, 89, 45, and now on pace for 34 points. Okay. When he was at his best, he was skating at the 94th percentile. That was his top speed. Okay. A lot of people say Elias Pettersson's not a burner, not fast on the ice or whatever. But when this guy hits top speed, it's pretty good. Okay. And now this guy's around league average? You drop from 94th percentile to around league average. His craziest season with the speed burst, 155 speed bursts in the 88th percentile, and now he has 50 speed bursts this season. That's about 40 in the 45 percentile. So just off of skating speed alone, that's a huge drop. Okay, we'll get into the reasons why I think there's a drop off, but that is just insane. Like, how can a player go from that to this? Like, this is absolutely crazy. And when he was in his peak, he was averaging 3 shots a game. Now he's at 1.86. Okay. When he was at his peak, he had 45% of the offensive zone times and 80% of 80th percentile in terms of offensive zone touches. Now he's at 39 to 40%. Makes sense. A lot of the season, he had to be the one and only center. We had no center depth. So, he's not touching the puck that much. It's now at 45 in the 45th percentile. Points per game, best season, 1.28. Now it's 0.69. Shooting percentage, 15.2%, and now is down to a measly 10%. That's a huge drop-off, okay, in offensive involvement, okay? This definitely explains a lot of this. Now, this comes down to the question of, do you believe, all right, and you can believe whoever you want, because last time, Jordan and Russell had a huge debate. Jordan's pretty much debate, 11.6, not good enough. PD saw the money, got paid and late. That was his perspective, right? Russell's perspective, there's a whole bunch of other people you can blame. He's doing a lot of good stuff. He's blocking shots. He's, defending, like doing all those things, blocking shot with his face, playing goalie. And what is he supposed to do with the wingers he has, right? And that's Russell's perspective, right? And I came in at that moment when I did speak. I said, yeah, I believe Pettersson's not doing great, but he's not a big blame for this season. But moving forward, if this is the guy that we have, we need to move forward. This is not the way to go. Okay? When someone gets injured or something traumatic happens in their life, I never, ever, ever use it against them, right? And like the miscarriage and his potential injuries with his wrist or his knee injuries, or whatever, right? Like those things. I never, ever, ever talk about these things, right? I never ever fault a player for these things, because I truly believe that these things could affect people, right? I truly believe this. Okay. So I really want people to understand that these things do play a factor, but we need to ask ourselves, in which of these situations does it play a factor? Right? Does Elias Pettersson having, a tough time with confidence affect his skating, his speed burst? Or is it injuries that can affect it? Or is it he simply got his money and now he's like, yeah, I'm just not going to skate my best? I don't think it has anything to do with him, like fully anything to do with him getting paid. I think it's more of, I actually believe that he is hurt. I actually believe he's still hurt. And but I also think at the same time, he's not hurt to the point where it's so bad. I think he's hurt, and because of how he thinks, he's not as mentally tough. So therefore, it affects his confidence, and you can see it affect his confidence on the ice. Like, if you compare this, like up to this point of the season, okay, compared to last year, he does do a few more speed bursts than before. That's more noticeable. He does, have a nice snapshot here and there, better than last season. He does. He showed these flashes. He had like 4 multi-point games in a row. Like, he showed stuff, right? But it hasn't shown like well here. It hasn't shown a lot. And that's the thing. It hasn't shown, like, his top speed hasn't hit what it needs to hit. The number of speed bursts is not even on pace to his best. His shots per game is not even close to his peak. Okay. the amount of time he touches the puck is not even enough, right? I know that he isn't playing with the greatest of players, but he's got to touch the puck more and he's got to do more, right? And you know, I find that he dominates more when he's playing weaker teams. Okay, when weaker teams, he's allowed to slow the game down and do what he needs to do, right? But being like just like I said, I think he's a little bit injured here, but I think the confidence piece and he's letting the injuries get to his head. I think it really bothers him so much, right? And that's why when we're watching these Olympics right now, I'm just wondering, what are you guys even like looking for? Like, if he's gonna have a standout tournament, is it because he improved every single one of these things on the screen, and that players are just finishing off his chances and he's just getting more points? Or is he all of a sudden going to improve all of these things on the screen? All of a sudden, he's going to improve all these things and be one of the top leaders for Olympic scoring. I would love to see that. For real. I would love to see that. Okay. But this isn't, like this isn't good for the Canucks at all. Okay. And this is not even good for him that he has to stay and do this, because the longer this goes, the more the fan base is going to go after him. Okay. A lot of people that were defending him are going after him now. Okay. Like a lot of people. Right. And that part, right, it comes with the contract, unfortunately. Right. And there's a lot of things that I would have given him a little bit more benefit of the doubt. I would have, but I can't because of all the reports that came out that he came to camp out of shape, and a lot of players are not liking that, and he's causing a lot of the rift in the locker room. Even after JT Miller is gone, he's still apparently part of the problem. It pissed Quinn Hughes off and stuff like that, right? And you hear all that. How could you give the guy a pass like on that, right? Like if this was Linden with all these stats and he's injured but he's still working hard, I literally wouldn't even be complaining at all. Like I wouldn't even complain so much, right? Because we understand, like things happen, and there's a lot of tough things that can happen. But this, everything that's like on the screen, I just don't think he's just gonna magically fix this like during the Olympics. I don't think he's gonna fix it. All of a sudden, skate faster, top speed, like high shot volume. I don't think the script is gonna flip just like that. I really don't think so. Do I want it to flip? Do I want it to be good for Petterson? Do I want him to have a good Olympics? 100% I want him to have a good Olympics. Who wouldn't? Do I want him to be good on the Vancouver Canucks? Of course I do. Who wouldn't? Right? Like, who wouldn't? Right? Like he needs to make other players better for sure. He needs to. Right? I mean, he doesn't have the best of line mates, but this guy needs to make other players better. And I just don't see it. Right? I just don't. I just see a bit of injuries and I see some confidence issues. Right? And he's not the same, it's not the same player. Right? Like, and this is not right. Okay? Like, we need him to be better. Okay. Second here. Okay. So I'm going to go through a little bit of some comments here, and then I'm going to show you another graphic, and I'm going to compare some stats to some previous seasons. Okay. Heated rivalry. Oh man, that was a battle. I think I was just missing the popcorn sitting beside them. That was awesome. Right. I love to see the passion and everything. Okay, what's up? G, thank you for being here. Hey, Rain, Kemner, Irvin, Justin, Gerald, everyone. Amazing. What's up? What's up? Can you check my Canucks edits? Sure. Maybe I'll check it after. Love how you're clearing the air. Respect, brother. Appreciate that. 1.86 shots a game. You watch him not shoot on open net twice today. Yeah, I did. See, these problems still exist. And I think that's the frustrating part. Like, you can play with good players, but if you don't have the confidence, right? Like, that is a huge issue. You don't have the confidence. right? Like I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt that some things are going on with them, and he's a confidence issue, and he might even be a little bit injured. I'm gonna give him some of that, but like this is like absolutely insane, right? And it goes back to my point from like 1 year ago. If you're gonna go through a slump, at least look deadly, and be snake bit. Still is not that. He's still not. Until we see all the stats that I showed you on the screen go up, elitist Petterson will not get out of my doghouse. Okay? I mean, not that my doghouse means anything, but he's not going to get out of it. Like, you guys can be honest. You can disagree with me. I really don't care. I don't mind. I just want you guys to, to understand that I'm going strictly off of like the stats, right? And then a little bit off of like what I see, right? Because, everyone can judge a player by emotion, but you also have to include the stats, right? And this is what I see. What's up? Doing well. Justin, 100%, he's not to blame fully for this season, but it's now 2.5 years of realizing he's not going to be the guy for us going forward. And I need everyone to understand that, right? You can still think he's the guy to go forward with us, but it's been 2.5 years, almost 3 years. Not fully to blame, but this is what we have here, okay? Like, I give him all the kudos in the world. I said, when I saw him blocking shots and doing all those things, I said, if you can be 70-point guy and do all those things and you get extra support, I can live with that contract. It's bearable. But what he's doing now, this is not bearable. Cringing, watching him fall on the ice, not being deadly, being a shell of his former self. That's not cool. Right? It's not. Thank you, Justin. Here we go. What's up? Waiting for your rant on PD. Oh, man. I'm going to invite you guys on in a bit. For sure. Even Sweet Coach doesn't trust him on the PP or in the top 6 to start the Olympics. Yeah, this guy's on the third line, right? Like with Raquel and I can't remember who. But he had like the second lowest ice time apparently. And the Sweden's center depth is low and you still have Petterson on the third line. Like, this guy's confidence is so shot that like he has to play everything defensive. He changed his game. I was like, that when a player changes his game to be, defensive, it means that they don't trust their ability, their original ability to be good. Right? Like, and I think that's an issue. I always say, like, you got to stick to what you do best and you have to keep focusing on what you do best to get out of those slumps. Right? Like, that is why, like, when John Tortorella coached the Sedins, and the Sedins never complained or bitched about this, but they made the Sedins block shots. The Sedins were blocking shots, and they said, "Oh, you know what? If Sedins block shots, everyone's standing. The culture is very high, and it's so tall. Like what happens if they block a shot and they get hurt? How tall is that culture now, right? Like, you guys didn't go to watch the games to see Sedins block a shot, did you? I didn't. Was it great that they blocked a shot? Yeah, but risk injury. You let other people block shots, right? I know all of you right here would agree with me. You'd rather Petterson shoot and be dangerous, pass, do all his offensive zone magic like we knew from before and to learn and love. That the Petterson 10 goals, 10 games, all his amazing passes, behind the back pass to Besser against Vegas, the bank shot pass, like all that stuff. Like it's just insane to me, like how a lot of like the chances have gone down. Just crazy. Okay, maybe the wrong take, but I have few opinions and relatable life lessons rather than emotions and stats, but I'm apathetic personally. No, it's all good. It's cool, honestly. I didn't get to watch the game today. Was EP40 on the power play? I don't think he was on either units, but someone can correct me if I'm wrong here. Yeah. He did better second half of the game, but come on, you're playing Italy with better line mates. How do you shoot on 2 wide open nets if you don't score? Shoot. I heard he got like a second assist on the empty net goal or something like that. But this is my point. It's like you're freaking fumbling against Italy, and no disrespect to Italy, but when the competition gets tough, like, what are we going to see? Are we going to see more frustration? Because him going to Olympics is supposed to boost his confidence. It's supposed to boost the fans' confidence, right? Like this isn't even doing anything. And I wanted to do this show for a while, but man, like this is crazy, right? No, not on the power play. Damn, what in the actual happened to this man? Yeah, like I said, like everyone knows the stats, but I wanted to put them all together for you to see. I really thought about it. I did my research, and I'm like, man, I need the people to see this all in one shot. People talk about this on X, one stat, one stat, one stat. I'm like, you know what? I wanna put it all together to show the offensive decline. Like this is absolutely insane. Okay. It's like the Monstar stole his talent. It's like someone took it. I don't know. Like what the heck happened? Is this like that basketball show with like the Thunder or whatever where Kevin Durant's powers were stolen or something like that? Like this is crazy. He has talent but lacks the consistency and drive ever since the contract. Okay, so Justin, so you think that like he's lost the drive. So you don't think it's injuries or whatever. You think that he's lost a drive ever since the contract. Are you having open house tonight? I believe so. I want to get through the comments and then I'm going to do another slide and then we can have some open house. Love the show, fellas. Really appreciate it. Where's the other guy? Yeah, so I told Jordan that I wanted to do a solo show because of what happened last show. I didn't get to speak that much because I want to have other people speak their mind about Petterson, and I wanted to separate myself from Jordan because Jordan has his opinions about Petterson and I have mine, and I just wanted to make that clear. Okay, I actually blame the other people more, like the management and the owner for meddling in decisions and giving out that contract in the first place, and building this joke of a team right now. Right? Like there's no other way to say it. It's a joke, right? So I blame those guys. But then if you're gonna just go straight up talking about the player, then these are my thoughts. Okay, but we've talked about this at length, and I just wanted to clear my own thoughts right now. Okay. Hey, PD played pretty good. Still a ton of tournament to be played. Victor, how are you doing? I don't know if he played well. I'm going to be honest. I didn't see the game. I know he had 1 point. I was at work, so I didn't see it. But he had 1 point, a second assist on an empty netter, and he whiffed on 2 open nets. You can read the chat, right? Like the chat's here, and they say what they need to say. Okay? Like this is not me talking about the game. I'm talking about Petterson up to this point and what we should be expecting from him from the tournament this point onwards. Okay? In 2023, here are the teams that he had 3 or more points in a game against: Anaheim, Seattle, Philly, Washington, Montreal, New York Islanders, and St. Louis. Okay. This is in 2023, guys. Okay. A lot of points. But were these teams really that good back then? Don't know. You guys have an answer for that. Garley went 13 games without a point and then got 2 apples to end the stream. But he looked good for most of those games, doing Garland things. So PD showing up every other game offensively isn't. Okay. Right? Still got to show up. Who's hyped up for Team Canada? I'm super hyped. I'm ready for Team Canada. Let's go. I keep hearing of new Gerald and Yurvin show, but rumors since November. Oh, it's happening. Maybe I'll give those guys some time to speak about it after, for sure. Okay. You guys see when the Italian guy just held Petey's head down like he was a little boy? I didn't see, but that's crazy. Tortorella also overplayed the Sedins. They were online with Kessler playing defense level minutes. Yeah, right. And like, like, I don't know, like Sedins, even that season when they're overplayed, they had like their career lows in points too, right? Like you can't get players to do things that they're not, supposed to do. Like I know Kessler was playing, like, fairly decent, but like you gotta coach and play to the player's strengths too, right? I'm not sure. I hope it's better now. Here, let's try this. There we go. Let's do that. Thank you, Calvin. Appreciate it. So, Evan, who here is of the belief that Pettersson simply got the bag and doesn't give a shit anymore? You know, a lot of people think this, and that was Jordan's, big point. He's just a little bit more blunt about it and how he explains it. I'm not completely there about that. I still think that he does care. Otherwise he wouldn't be blocking shots with his face. Okay, if a guy truly doesn't care, he will check out and he won't be, blocking shots and doing stuff like that. Right? A guy that goes from 100 points to doing this stuff knows that something's not right and he needs to impact the game in another way. So he's doing this. Okay. My only fear is if he is injured and he goes to another team, another environment where it's no longer toxic and he figures it out, right? And then fans are going to be in an uproar because we sold them for the low or whatever, right? That's my only fear, and that's why part of me, when I say I want him to play with McKenna or Stenberg, it isn't because I think Stenberg and McKenna can make him better. That's not the only reason. It also gives him another season to heal up if he really is injured. But if he's still going to stay on the Canucks, I give him one more year tops. And if he can't after 3 years, okay, then he has to go. This has gone on for way too long. Okay, this can't keep happening, guys. Yeah, for sure. I like the guy, but this is pro sports. Only winning matters. He has less points than way too many players. No excuse with the when it comes to 11.6, right? And I was making it down on the stream. I'm like, how the heck is like OEL tied with him for points, right? Like how does OEL outscore him for a while? How does Quinn Hughes, leave and go to Minnesota and have more points in like a month, like compared to Pettersson all season? Like that's just insane to me. Like a player that gets paid this much should be able to be mentally tough and fight through hurdles and be a leader and lead by example, right? Like it says a lot to me. Like I mean, get me wrong. Like this guy's like in private or whatever, right? Like this guy's a very private guy, but a lot of people don't invite him to stuff. Like that's one. And you hear all this stuff about him being a locker room cancer, right? I mean, Miller got the brunt of it because he's the loud one, but hearing a lot of stuff about him being a big part of the locker room culture, the issue, right? That's not cool. And you know what, guys? And I'm gonna be honest with something. I'm gonna be super honest. Before Quinn Hughes had his end of year assessment of the Canucks or thanking the Canucks for the season, even though they didn't make the playoffs, and then Hughes got the captaincy there that season, I honestly thought that Pettersson would have been the next captain then, because we didn't hear anything about it, and he had all the skill. We didn't hear anything about that. We just thought, oh yeah, maybe he's a little bit quiet. Maybe he can lead the way that Henrik did, quiet, but he can still be a good leader, right? Like that's honestly what I thought. Okay. And then, after Hughes got the captaincy, and then you start to hear stuff. Oh, he didn't come to camp in shape. He's no longer, teaching players how to do, slap shots and helping them out on the ice, helping the young kids, right? All that kind of stopped. Ever since, he got the money. Like ever since then, you hear all of this stuff after. Could it be a coincidence? Sure. But I didn't hear anything, up until afterwards when Hughes got the captaincy and around that time, captaincy to about when, what do you call it? Up until when Pettersson got hurt, or the Olympic break or whatever, the All-Star break, right? EP didn't get a point. They took it away from him. Okay, so he didn't even get a point. There you go. Like you guys know more. I'm not going to pretend to know because I didn't watch it and I didn't really check. I focus more on today's stream. Okay. And for the record, I'm not saying you are wrong to think that. No, 100%. 100%. Just really curious. Yeah, I want to know too. Honestly, I want to know how many people actually believe he got paid and just doesn't give a shit. Honestly, it could be. Wow, that new show will be incredible. 2 great hosts. I agree. 100%. I mean, real superstars have 90 plus points. PD has like 32 now, right? And this is my point, guys. Like, I gave PD 70 points on the season, and a lot of people are like, oh man, like, come on, Whit, man, like, give him more benefit of the doubt, right? And those stats that I showed you today was part of the reason why I didn't want to give him more, is because I still thought that there were still things bothering him, right? I really did. Okay. I don't know, man. Like I still think that the tendonitis is still kind of bothering him. Like his slap shot's a little bit better, but he doesn't use it as often as he used to. Doesn't get off that wrist shot like as clean and crisp as he used to, right? And anyone that's ever told you they've had tendonitis or knee issues, those things can linger for a year, right? And if you play on it, it can linger even longer. That's why I'm a little bit lenient about that. But I still think it's the confidence issue more than the injuries. Okay. It's more, I would say it's 70-80% confidence issue and like 20-30% injuries. That's just my take. You guys can agree or disagree with me. Petterson truly didn't care anymore. He wouldn't be trying so hard on the fence. And that's exactly what I was saying, Michael, right? He does care. That's why he's blocking shots with his face, blocking empty net, right? Doing all that stuff. So that's why I feel like he does care in a way. Like he does. I just think that he changes game because he's not that confident. That's what I think. Yes, I tend to believe he truly wants to be better, but he can't. Yeah. I'm on the fence. I'm sure he cares, but talk is cheap and he is quickly approaching there. Concerning trends with denying injuries, blaming media and parents' genes and his ice on action some nights. Yeah, right. And I know you guys saw the quote. Petterson said that he, wants to stay a Canuck and he wants to go battle in the Olympics, but it's not an out. He wants to come back and be better for his teammates. He wants all that, right? So that's nice to hear. But, you still got to do what you got to do. Heart says one thing, body says another. More he forces it, the worse things get, and it just snowballs. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people would have no problem with him shutting down the season and just rehabbing it properly. I'm serious. I think a lot of fans would be okay if he took a season off to rebuild, like rehab or whatever, right? Like it's. Petey was having long-term injury troubles even back in the Green and Boudreaux days. It was his wrist back then. Yes, it was his wrist. That's what I'm saying to you guys, right? He can still have that lingering wrist injury and he has his knee injury. Those two things, when you take a shot, the knee, you got to bend in, and the wrist shot, right? Like those are two things. That's why I truly believe that those two body parts there are affecting him. I just think that the confidence piece is affecting him more, but the injuries at least 20 to 30%. I'm telling you. Okay. Okay. My mind telling me you don't know, but my body. Yeah. Defense, he shows he cares, but offensively, his body attitude leaves a lot to be desired, even if he doesn't score. He can definitely be better, right? Like this guy's like frustrated, looking up to the heavens, like, oh my gosh, right? Like for sure. Even look around the league, superstar players score superstar points in bad teams too. PD is like a third liner, LOL. Okay, guys, I am going to get to my point very soon. Okay, you know what? I'm going to zip through these real quick, and then I'm going to get to my next point, and then you guys will see what I'm talking about. I would imagine it must be incredibly frustrating to know that you were once capable of incredible things, but now it's just not going to happen. Yeah, if I was PD, I know. I would be like, yeah. Oh, Witt's feeling it when he's hitting the key so hard in the screen shakes. Oh yeah, man, I'm feeling it, man. There's no Jordan here. I'm just crushing. I'm just kidding. I'd rather have Jordan here with me, but I want to do this myself. Okay. I just like to talk and move a lot. This is how I speak as a teacher at work too. I speak and use a lot of hand gestures. Yeah. Okay. I'm a big PD fan. That's the thing. So it's a letdown because his decline has been insane since the contract. I'm pretty sure he crushed a lot of people's hockey pools as well. It's crazy. Bro's been complaining about his thoughts. So let us forever. Story's getting tired, bro. Yeah. It is. If he wanted to win, he would have requested a trade and instead fought with two guys who wanted to win. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say to that because if he truly wants to stay, then yeah. I mean, how far have we come, guys, to this? Remember when Petterson was like on the boat and he was like, oh, yeah, I want to play for a winning team, right? And then we were scared that he was leaving. We went from that to this. Like, that's crazy. I heard from one last thing, PD is quickly becoming the Canucks Huberto. Yeah, I saw that. And I really don't want him to be that. Okay? I really don't. 11.6 million to block shots is insane. And that's exactly why I brought up the Sedin culture thing. You guys don't go to watch Sedin's block shots. You don't go to watch EP40 block shots. You don't. You go to see EP40 be an offensive force and be good on the defensive side of the puck. Okay? I'm a fan. He's a sniper. Needs to score and do things. Yes, he does. Do I prefer McKenna or Stenberg? You know what? I'm happy with either one. But man, like after what Stenberg did, McKenna did, I'm all for my boy McKenna right now. You need McKenna's strong wrist to make up for Petey's weak wrist. I mean, even with those wrists, Petey can still whip those passes, man. So maybe McKenna can finish off his stuff. Hey, Duo. Hey, Michael. What's up? What up? The whole injury stuff is BS because if he's hurt, why would he be playing and not sitting out? Jordan, thank you for being here. Okay, giving me the floor. My answer to your question is this. Who's the owner? Who's the management? How many players have complained that they were injured and they didn't listen and they still let them play? We made a graphic on this. Okay? McCabe didn't heal properly. Jason Dickinson didn't heal properly. Okay? Tanner Pearson didn't heal properly. OEL played with broken foot and they complained about it after he left. Lots of things under our management group. Don't know why, right? Like, sure, maybe PD's not, the most mentally there or prepared or mentally tough. Maybe he's not. But if the guy's telling you he's injured, okay, and he's not good with the media and he doesn't know how to take accountability, that's one thing. But the guy's telling you he's hurt, then rest the damn guy. Honestly. If he sits out, people calms off. You know what? Look what's happening to Demko. People say shit about him no matter what. But at least if he's injured, let him rest. People are going to say shit no matter what about Petterson. It's gotten to this point. Okay, if you're going to say like shit, at least get the guy to rest. Have him play up his trade value. If you really want to trade him, then trade him. Okay, and you can convince him to leave. You convince him to leave. Okay, but this guy, rests and then comes back and becomes a PD we all, know to come and love, then we keep him. Okay? Club doesn't do any favors either by being cagey with details all the time. It doesn't, right? And that's why I don't like this management regime. They suck, right? When you say day to day, we laugh because we know it's like week to week to month. We know this, right? Like what the heck happened to Forbert? What happened up until recently with Teddy Bluger? What happened? Right? That's insane. They got the Hoglander one, right? They knew he was going to be out for a while, and then he was out until when they said they was, right? Okay. Facts. I would tend to agree, right? But I'm saying what I was saying with the injury part. I'm a fan of both of you and the other guys as hosts. You have good chemistry and energy. Really appreciate you. Really do. No, EP40 not out there on the power play. Definitely not. They can think media and fans are toxic, but we're all just left to come up to our own conclusions. So exactly, we think what we want to think. We say what we want to say. But they're the ones ultimately making the decisions, and they shouldn't be making decisions off of what we're saying. They freaking got to run the team however they want to run it, right? But they want to hear what we have to say or whatever. Okay, cool. Wonder why one of them gone all long ago. Yeah, Japan 4, you've been on this for a long time. This is like for you, having Petterson is not a Stanley Cup winning team. For you, you've already mentioned it, and I tend to agree. If this is how he's going to be, and he's not going to be good in the locker room, and he's not going to show everything on the ice, then we shouldn't have him. Okay? Fans don't pay $50 for beers to see block shots from our top player. This is exactly what I'm saying. Like it's like I said, we don't pay for that. Is it great that he's doing that? Sure, but we ain't paying for that. Okay? At least PD is out there, not like NBA stars and their load management, right? And this is one of Russell's points. PD, not 100%. Maybe he's not all there. Maybe he's still thinking about the loss of his child, right? Unborn child, right? But at least the guy plays. And I never, ever complained about him not playing. Okay? What does it say to you that Hughes left because he wanted to win, but PD seems to not care, enjoying collecting a check with zero pressure to win? Ooh. That's a good point. Hughes left because he wanted to win and the culture wasn't great in the room. So he left. And he spoke up. He's like, yeah, I want to go. Right? But Petey right now doesn't want to go to another team. Think his life is settled, right? And there's zero pressure to win, so he's willing to stay. Maybe there's a little bit of that. I mean, you do ask a good question. What does that also say about Garland, Demko, and Besser? Man, you guys are firing some shots. Are you guys firing some good points right here? Here, collect a paycheck and play without fear of losing their jobs. The amount of points our top guys have to the rest of the league is actually a joke. PD, Besser, DeBrusque, Garland, it's all brutal, like terribly bad. It's almost shocking. Go check. Yeah, it's really, really bad. All of them have like 25 or 26 points right now. It's absolutely brutal. Okay, compare a core to the rest of the league. Yeah, it's freaking terrible. Stat-wise, it's terrible. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen here, guys. One second here. Okay. So, oops. Here's my screen. There's a lot of people who, say to me, "Hey, why are you guys so like, mean to Petterson? Why are you guys always shitting on him? This guy's got no one to play with. This guy has to play everything himself. That's why he is what he is. Okay? That's why he is what he is." So I thought about it and I'm like looking through each season. What is a good season for me to pick some stats and be like, yeah, that's right. This is right, guys. Like what's a season where Petterson had to carry and he was the best player on the team and he had no support? Yeah, they go back to his rookie season. So we go back to his rookie season, and I apologize. I think Josh Level's stats are a little bit off, but everybody else's pretty accurate. Petterson had Brock Besser as his main line mate, 56 points in 69 games, 0.81 points per game. Okay, and then he had a mashup of Louis Eriksson, Josh Level, Nikolai Goldobin, and Jake Virtanen. Okay, and Petterson still had himself, like a lot of points, 60 something points, right? Like he was like 0.9 something points per game. He had a lot points, right? Points per game, he was really high. And you compare him to the players now, he's playing with what? Evander Kane, Garland, DeBrusque, Besser. I mean, those guys aren't doing that great this season, but those guys compared to these guys that I'm showing you on the screen, those guys are better than these guys. So the fact that Petterson was able to play drive then and make other people better, and even as recent as making Sam Lafferty and Ilya Mikheyev as his line mates look good, like, come on. Right? Like, come on. Like that's just insane to me. Like you guys, just look at this. Petterson, 28 goals in this season, I think, and 67 points or whatever the hell it is. Right? Like, what the hell? Really? Like, just look at the screen here. Like, this is absolutely insane. And like everyone can agree that the players that we have right now for this season, even though they're slumping, are better than all the guys I'm showing you on the screen. And you get a rotating cast of those players, and you still somehow are trending worse than this for a long time? Come on. Right? Like, this is the frustrating part, right? And when I'm showing you these stats, I'm not trying to shit on PD. I'm showing these stats because this is the player we learned to love. The player that made other people better. The player that can create something from nothing. Right? The player that, did those insane speed bursts. I remember playing against Columbus and then shot out of a cannon, for a breakaway. Where the heck is that game-breaking speed? Where's the speed burst? Where are those dangerous dangerous passes, the shots, right? Like his all-star game shots, like 102 miles per hour. Like this season, he shot what, like 94, like one time or something, and the rest are all like weaker shots, right? Like seeing the guy double clutch, seeing him not be confident. It's like you pay a lot of guys to be able to get out of ruts of confidence, and I think a lot of it is confidence issue, right? And if it's not a confidence issue, I better hope it's not a mail it in issue, because man, like this is terrible. Okay, I really wanted to show you guys these stats. Okay, and I know all of you would love to see even this Petterson come back, right? Like this one. If Petterson was sucking and he was like, same as his first year, dangerous, 0.9 points per game, but not the 100 points, people would have, right? Like people would have loved to see this. Okay, let's keep going. If EP4 is injured or going through personal issue, he should take time off. Yes, he should. And management should be ashamed to keep forcing him to play when he's not 100%. Right? And Petterson did go on record saying that he has a lingering issue that he has to deal with. Right? Still love the Canucks even though they hurt me. Same here. I love the Canucks. And it just hurts. LOL. Does it seem serving or selfish of EP4 to be out there when he realizes he's not at his best and can help the team win? Would it be more respectful for him to sit on and put the team first? Yeah, I think so. He had a sick screen on the Italian goalie today. My gosh. We're praising this now, right? All right, unless that's a joke. That's awesome too. Hockey is a team sport, but you're not going to be there physically or emotionally. Sit out and give a young guy the chance to help the team have a better chance to win than go through the motions. A lot of people mentioned to me, you got like Z Buyam, you got Ogren, and you have, Coots. You have all these young guys, right? Like, in the system or on the team right now. Honestly, is this who they're learning from? Honestly, is this is the guy they're learning from? The most important player on the team, the coach doesn't even mention in his top 5 as important players during his press conferences. That's crazy. Yep. Easy to say, but he's the star on the team and lots of people are paying to see him. So there's pressure plus internal pressure wanting him to do well. There's also this too. See, you guys bring up a lot of good points. Like you guys are smart fan base, honestly, right? Like that's why I love doing these streams, because you guys come up with many different perspectives and angles. It's awesome. He did also have a lot of points against shitty teams that year too. My thing about when people talk about getting points against shitty teams, if you're good, you better pile on points against the shitty teams. You better. That's the least you can do, right? Because I remember when Petterson sucked, 2 years ago, he only had multi-point games starting when he had a 5-on-3 against the San Jose Sharks. And I remember he ripped 2 goals like that, right? Like that, like that's right, like crazy. I get that, but take the leadership role and accountability. I just like to see a bit more maturity from him to step up and be a leader now that he's a vet and not a rookie anymore. He should. And he needs to take more. Like he's taken more accountability, but he needs to do more. It's not it. He was slow for the first 40 minutes. Did not know. That is true. I don't think I've ever heard PD once mentoring anyone. Right? He used to do this, Michael. He did. He used to do this before he got paid 11.6. You heard him staying out for games, teaching Jake Virtanen how to do slap shots. I remember in the bubble. I heard about all that stuff. There would be less negativity on him also. Yeah, honestly, if he's hurt and he tells them, I don't want to play, this isn't right, he'd get a lot more respect, I'm telling you. But instead, he digs himself a hole because you guys know how Vancouver media is. And you don't take accountability to Vancouver media and you just blame, it's going to be news. We don't need to make it news. Other people make it news. We just talk about it. Exactly. Grow some balls and speak up to management and shut down for the year. Not like it will make a difference this season standing-wise. Exactly. And this is the big reason why I didn't shit on PD that much this year. It doesn't matter if he's getting points this year. We're not doing anything. Okay? What was concerning was even when younger is him refusing to work with Sedins. That is crazy. Not sure if you guys saw the news article about the Swedes on the team saying PD has helped them. That's good if he has. Honestly, that's good. It's just that you haven't heard much about it in the Canucks locker room. That's the sad part. Might need a Paul Heyman. I like PD. I don't think it's his fault we are last, but he needs to step it up as a leader. Yeah, exactly. He needs to be more of a leader. How can you be a $11.6 million player and your coach doesn't mention you? How come like manager's not even mentioning you? Like all those things. It's crazy. I'm in the wings waiting, bro. You are. I'm gonna get you on right now. Let me get out of this screen here. And now I'm gonna do a little bit of open house here. Let me invite Gerald. G, what's up? Hey, I can't hear you. Can you guys hear Gerald? I can't hear Gerald. Gerald, you can hear me, but I can't hear you.
Mute, bro. I'm on mute, bro. I'm sorry. I muted myself just in case.
There you go.
What is up? So I'm ready. I'm ready for Hockey Canada right now. Getting ready for tomorrow morning. Excited for that. But since we're talking about PD today, I actually have a slide. If you can pull that up for me, can you see it?
What is? Hold on. Is it?
If you can throw it up there,
this?
yeah, that's the one.
Is that this?
That's the one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one.
Here, can I do it like? Oh no, is it like this? Would that
work?
Yeah,
that's fine.
I can see everything. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm trying to say is, I mean, on Friday's stream last week, I already said I have 3 PD jerseys. So like I've been rooting for the guy ever since he came in, and even though it's 11.6, you know, Whit and I have not bashed on him this season as much because of the defensive play, because of, you know, the guy is there blocking shots. But what Whit actually has been talking about is, do you want the Sedins blocking shots? It's the same thing with PD. Do you want him blocking shots, getting injured instead of scoring? He's obviously changed his game to more of a defensive game as opposed to offensive game. But when he signed the contract, that's not what he was being paid for. So that's why people are so mad. So with that all said and aside, I know Justin is not going to like me for this, but if you're reading the screenshot that I put, it's about him being a leader. So Linus Karlsson saying he's a leader, he blocks shots, how he works hard at both ends. Maybe he's not the most vocal guy, but he works hard for the team. That being said, I don't know how credible this is because it is Swedes talking about Swedes. I'm not trying to start any shit right here, right now, but
so good.
It just feels like obviously the Swedes are going to talk him up and all that. And I know Justin Credible is going to have his rant, and I can't wait for it. But the main thing I want to talk about is, it's easy to say it's nice going to the Olympics. Oh, sorry, just back to the
sorry,
screenshot.
I pressed the wrong button here. Go ahead, yeah.
So the main part I really want to emphasize is, it's easy to say it's nice to go to the Olympics. Obviously, the Olympics are a dream come true. But my guys are here in Vancouver. So he's trying to show that, you know what, Vancouver's a team, Vancouver's a city, and the Olympics are not an out for him because everything that's happening right now with Team Tank and all of that. So him going out, you know, publicly and saying this, I think people should cut him a bit of slack. I know the points are not there. I know it's been disappointing, but I feel like, you know, once this publicly came out, I don't know about you, but for me, I feel like it's changed my view a little bit. Like, he's being that quiet leader. I'm not going to go as far as him being a Naslin, but I'm just saying that his heart is in Vancouver. So we should cut him some slack. I know it's the 11.6, but, you know, who knows what happens during the Olympics, and if he can bring it back up. Obviously, the game today was not great. He had Zibanejad and Raquel, you know, on his lines, and he couldn't really even capitalize. I mean, Zibanejad scored a goal today, which is great, and PD was up front, net front. But it just feels like even the Swedish coach can't trust him to play more minutes. So how do you expect Vancouver or fans to feel about that? Because he's not doing well in Vancouver. How is the Olympics the question? Is the Olympics the answer to everyone's questions? That's what I want to talk about.
Well, and that's why I mentioned everything that I mentioned. Like, is he going to the Olympics all of a sudden going to make him skate faster, shoot more, be more deadly? Is it really going to make him do all these things? Right. And my answer to that is probably no. Right. And
No.
that's not to be mean to the
Not.
guy. I just don't think going to the Olympics is going to make him do better. And if everyone wants him to be a leader, how he needs to be a leader is he needs to show that he's a leader, and then management, ownership, or maybe not ownership, but management at the very least, president of operations, and a whole bunch of his teammates should be saying, this guy's a leader. He's stepping up. Okay. You get Linus Carlson, one person saying this. Let's give him a benefit of the doubt that is true. You got one person in like 2 years saying that he stepped out and he's been a leader.
No, in the article, there's actually Niels Hogelander that is talking about it too. So I mean, it's like I said, it's just all Swedes talking.
Yeah, it's this is outside exposure. This is not Canucks media reporting all this, right?
Yeah. No, this was actually Ian McIntyre, man. So
Ian McIntyre, like interviewing this.
He wrote this
right?
article.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's great to see him at the Olympics, but like you're saying, in terms of leadership, there's more than enough on the Swedish team. Like you have Gabriel Landeskog. Like this guy, if PD can learn a little bit from him just during this Olympics, that'd be great. Just on how to become a leader and how to, you know what, you're doing it on the ice in terms of defensively, but off the ice, in the locker room, how you should deal with all the players that are in the locker room and how to make it unite as one. Like that's something I think the Canucks are lacking in terms of culture and players playing for one another. Like you had this back in the day, but ever since, I don't know, like just looking back at the bubble, like 2020, like these players were tight, but they also had players like Tanev, that Toffoli, they had, I think Tanner Pearson was there at a point. And you had all these quality veteran players that were leaders and that could calm the young players down. And PD needs to start learning that, because even Justin was saying, he's like, he's not a young player, he's not a rookie anymore. Like he should act like a veteran, he should act like a leader. And that's, it's legit for someone like a passionate fan to ask about.
100%. He should be, one of those guys, right? And we did have that culture, that bubble, that bubble year. That was a lot of good leadership, like on that team.
Yeah.
It's afterwards, a lot of those guys did leave, and then I think that leadership hasn't really been replaced too much since. Like I think the strongest it was that 2024 season where we had Cole and Zadorov. Right. And those guys could also keep Miller in check too. And then not just PD, right? So you're losing a lot of that, veteran leadership. It's tough. And Hughes isn't going to be the guy to keep it all together, right? I mean, just thinking about it, thinking about it afterwards.
He just lost it. I mean, to be very honest, like if a team's winning, everything's going to go well. When they start losing, that's when it tests, the team culture and how they get through adversity. And obviously the Canucks aren't able to do that. But I need to hit back. Like I want to say one thing with Russell. I appreciate what you did last stream. I know what you did. I know some people didn't, but I appreciate you, brother. He was saying, speaking of Landeskog, he only played 3 seconds more than Peter. It's not like, what I'm trying to say is not about ice time. It's more about leadership. Like, why is he the captain of the Avs? Why did they keep him as the captain of the Avs even though he was injured for like 2 years? It's just that presence. Like he's around the club even when he was injured. He's there cheering on his team, and it's more about that. And I don't know. There's one game when PD was injured, and he was in the locker room after a win, and everyone was fist bumping each other after the win, and PD, someone ignored PD. I think it was Garland. I remember that game. Like, what the hell happened there? Like maybe it was just Garland just walked by, not knowing or whatever, but it just seemed kind of odd. So I think right now it's more about that locker room mentality and how they need to create some sort of culture and have a leader there. I mean, Hronek, I think I was reading other articles and there's like Buem was talking about Hronek and how he's just like, oh, if you need anything, let me know, like checking in with him, like, this play that should be like this, blah, blah, blah. Like Hronek is one of those silent leaders, which will be great as a captain, but people are going to be judgmental in terms of how he deals with media. He doesn't like talking to reporters. It's changing a little bit, but I think Hronek will be good for the Canucks eventually.
Yeah. He will be. I want to just put this comment on the screen here. It's not just PD too. Need to look at everyone doing bad. The vets, Besser, Garland, DeBrusk, MP29, Demko, Lankinen. We have the third highest paid tandem goalies in the league, and both are. Yikes! Look at that, right? Like it, and this is what we were talking about before. Why did I not blame Petterson a lot like this season? I only brought it up because of the great debate last Friday, right? That's why I brought it up. Otherwise, I wouldn't be talking about PD at length here. I would honestly just be like, look at this. Look at how this roster is built, right? And how many of these guys do we keep around for the veteran leadership? Because I don't know if you guys have heard on the news or whatever, or Canuck stuff, but they think that because there's nobody in free agency to sign that are going to be even better than these guys, they might just keep a lot of them. Okay, and that's what we heard, right? So there's a piece like that too.
No, but the biggest issue is I don't think that's the problem. It's if they go into free agency and they look for players, are they able to find a veteran with leadership qualities that is willing to come to Vancouver? Because everyone, like Vancouver's the talk of the league. Well, not really the talk of the league, but more of the joke of the league. And players are not going to want to come because of that. So keeping those players is another reason. This is another reason for keeping those players, because there's it's going to be hard for them to actually get players to come to Vancouver.
That's also what I want to say too. Yeah. That's why there's a reason to keep them. It's because of that. Who you're going to get? You're going to get what? One or two guys that are on show me deals, or you have to sign long-term contracts to commit to them, higher AAV, right? Like that's how you're going to get these free agents. And do you want to pay that price, right? Like that's just what it comes down to. And if you want to be a floor team, then you have to make it work somehow, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's how we got DeBrusk, right? Like, I mean, what were you expecting when you got DeBrusk anyways? Like, he was that in and out. Like, he'd get benched maybe once or twice a year, and he was streaky. Boston gave up on him. That's why he went to free agency, and then the Canucks pounced after him and thought, oh, maybe a new change of scenery would work.
Yeah.
What? He had one good November, 14 goals, and that's it. And this year, what is it, 11? I think 11 power play goals.
One even strength or something?
Total. Yeah, one even strength. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Like DeBrusk, I think needs to go, but who's gonna get DeBrusk? There's value in Garland. Besser, I don't know anymore. But yeah, I think right now the biggest issue I think is the goaltending. If like Tyler's talked about it on the line change, he talked with Begsy about it, and Begsy's saying, you know what, like we can't let Tolopilo go. Like, but what are we gonna do? We have Demko and Lankinen in the books. I know Whit and I talked about this in depth about Demko re-signing at one point. I think we were having dinner one night and we started talking about this, and I really want you to let the people know like what you thought about this whole goaltender situation, 13 million, like how did it come about, and what your view was at that point.
Well, my view was if you're complaining about lack of scoring and then all of a sudden you have 13 million in goaltending, how is that helping your cap situation to get one or two extra forwards? How is that helping you? That's the first thing. Second, you already know Demko's injured. So why would you commit long-term to something like that? That's crazy. Why would you knowingly do that? And the third thing, you already know on average, this guy gets hurt 6 to 8, like between 6 to 8 games. He can't go more than that without getting an injury. You already know that. So why are you throwing that much money to him for 3 years? And now, you know, everyone thinks it's so great in theory. And yes, it is great in theory. Why don't we play him every other game, or why don't we play him, less? Why don't we not burn him to the ground? Why don't we not? We're so smart, right? Freaking Yeah, we're so smart. We're not gonna burn him to the ground, right? We're so smart. Yeah, this was smart if you did this before he started getting injured. Not this. Not just try to, get into the playoffs and then get hurt. And then now we have this. He got hurt for nothing, literally. Didn't even make the playoffs.
Boudreaux ran him to the ground. Talkett ran him to the ground.
Like,
and it's I think because of that led to how he is now. And that's just unfortunate. Imagine if they didn't extend him last summer and he got injured right now and he has season ending. Bro, he's a free agent. So if anyone, Demko got the bag and was like, fuck it, you know what? I'm gonna play. I want to play. And if I get injured, I get injured. Because I got the bag already. It doesn't matter. If anyone, that is who's got the bag, man.
Yeah. Like you still could have had Seeloffs. I mean, hindsight's 2020, but like you still would have been able to trade Demko and have some sort of value. Now I just don't know what type of value you can even get for him, even when he's healthy. You have to bank for him to play 10 games unscathed when he can't even do 6 to 8 unscathed. You know what I mean? Like the task is only getting taller now, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be really hard next season because I mean I was listening to Begsy and Begsy was saying keep 3 goalies up on the team. How do you do that though? So you have you have Demko and LTIR, or if he starts the season, great. Yeah. Then you have the 3-headed goalie situation in Vancouver. That's a roster spot right there. What are you gonna do? Always have an extra sitting in the press box just in case Demko goes out or Lankinen plays a shit game? Like, why? Why waste money in the press box, right? And a roster spot. Because there's no way for them to send down Tolopilo after this season. He has to go through waivers as of next season. Yeah. We're screwed. So it's going to be another Seelov situation all over again. And we're going to lose a big, 6'6" goalie who really has that potential. And he's more sturdy than Lankinen. And Lankinen's been playing like shit this year. Like, do you trust him? Yeah, at the beginning of the season, you're like, okay, oh yeah, he's great in shootouts. Like he went 16-0 or whatever in shooters. Yeah, but that's if you get into the shootouts. The rest of the game, rebound control is terrible. He misreads all these plays. There's so many, like, he was all the way on this side and there's an empty, like half the net was open and the other team scores. Like, you can't depend on this, like, unless you're able to convince him to waive his no trade and trade him out and then keep Tolopilo, or else you're screwed. Like, this rebuild is gonna be hooked because of these two goalies. Quote me on this, seriously.
It's definitely gonna hamstring them badly because, like what you just said, if you're holding a roster spot, you can no longer do, unless I'm wrong, but you can no longer do 2 extra defensemen and 1 forward, or 2 extra forwards and 1 defenseman. You're literally gonna go 1 defenseman, 1 forward, and 1 extra goalie.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck, man?
That's it. That's it.
Like, man.
So like that basically like handcuffs you in anything. Like, if you had another player go down and you needed that extra player, just as like on a road trip, you're going on a long ass road trip, you have 3 goalies there, but would you rather have that extra goalie, or would you have that extra defenseman or that extra forward sitting in the wings just in case something happens? Like,
definitely have to.
What are you going to do? An emergency call up every time? Like, you can't do that. So, anyways, I've done my bit. I think some of the other people, have you even sent out the link?
No, I was trying to do it and I screwed up. That's why I waited to let's see here. Copy. I'm gonna put it in the chat. Let's see if this is it. Normally Jordan does text stuff, so I gotta be a little better. Here we go. Doing it myself. Okay. Did I post a link? Is that there?
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
That's the one. Yeah.
So, I mean, I'll stay as long as until the next person comes up. But I love this. I want to support you because this.
Hey, I appreciate you, man. I wanted to do this, and we're doing this. You want to stay? You want to stay on? Or you want to go? Because we got the rain in the house right now.
It's up to you because when okay, we'll ask Rain. We'll ask Rain.
Ray!
Oh God, you're hyping me up too much, people. Good Lord.
Too much. Nah. Very good. What's up?
Apathetic here. Indifferent. So
Okay.
full disclosure, I'm probably the wrong person for giving Petterson commentary. I'm probably the wrong person for it. But Gerald knows my JT Miller notes, so I'm saving for somebody's show. But this is not it. So
Go ahead.
Come on, Rain. What do you got?
Tell me your thoughts. Anything.
Okay. Oh God. Okay. So my thought on Petterson. Maybe I'll start there.
Yeah.
I've always thought he was set up to fail. I always thought he was overhyped.
Overhyped from the beginning.
I think he was overhyped because you look at that draft class in 2017, it is terrible down the middle. Like there's not a bona fide superstar in terms of sentiment from that 2017 draft. Like even Nico Hischier, who went first overall, he's not a top line center. Like he's a second line on a contender, really. So, but I always thought he was just a little overhyped. And I think that Petterson thrived better when you had other centers who could take on those defensive assignments. Like when it was the first 4 years, you had Bo Horvat down the middle. Then when JT Miller transitioned to center, took on those defensive assignments, that allowed Petterson to thrive. So now I think that he has to do all of it. But where was I going to go with this? But I always think that, whenever something drastic happens, there's always red flags you're missing out on. It's like, okay, what are those small things? What are those things that I missed and went, ooh, okay, now that it's pointed out. And one of my first red flags was the bridge contract. That was a red flag for me, how long that took. Because my personal thought is this: if you're such a top priority player, you don't wait it out. You're not waiting to get the deal done. It's get it done, figure out the rest later. And I don't believe management's convinced. I don't believe management's commitment to Petterson. I don't believe it. Wait till October to get the bridge deal signed. And then they didn't give Bridge Deal an 8-year deal because they wanted to keep them. They kept him out of fear. They kept him out of fear because they feared Matthew Tkachuk, and they pretty much basically admitted that. So
I got
what's
you.
up with this? What is up with this audio? Good Lord.
I know there's some double echo stuff going on here. And this is hold on. Yeah, and then my screen has a whole bunch of stuff right now. I have no clue.
but oh, there
Let's
you go.
do that. There we go. I like this better. I don't know.
But
there we go.
My big takeaways, I always thought Petterson was set up to fail. I just think that, and I think it's real easy to point out that it's 11.6 and blah 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 blah. But I think when you're set up to fail and when you're coming at it from a glass half empty standpoint, it's really hard to fill the glass up at that point with water.
Yeah. No, I understand what you're saying, and I blame whoever gave that contract for sure. I blame that for sure a lot. How the roster is built, like you said, he's also set up to fail. So that's why I keep that into consideration.
I think he was set up to fail. Oh, and two other things after the contract was signed. First, let's not remember that less than a year after the deal was signed, he got a less than ringing endorsement from management. But let's not forget that that was a less than ringing endorsement. That wasn't exactly a positive, viewed as positive light. It was, you better live up to it, otherwise we move you.
Yeah,
but
that wasn't the nicest.
But also, and Canuck fans should know this because we saw this with JT Miller. Actually, JT Miller was more of an extent to this. TikTok internal trade clock. Just signed a giant extension. Why are we still talking about trading him? Oh, is it because you never changed your mind on trading him in the first place? Because remember, they never denied the rumor that he was supposed to go to Carolina before the deal, before the contract was signed. And no answer is an answer.
Yeah.
No, but for the Carolina one, I think, in media out there, they're just trying to say they're trying to pull a, if you're not going to re-sign, we're going to trade you. I don't even think that deal was on the table, or it was fully like, okay, we just need a signature and we're good to go.
But they basically all but admitted that Matthew Tkachuk played a factor in why they signed the contract instead of dealing him.
Yeah, but I think at that point, if they got it, they should have taken it. They should have taken it and run. But I don't think Carolina was actually ready to pull that trigger.
No, because their owner Tom Dundon is cheap as a bag of bricks. So except when it comes to
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say we've known Tom Dundon is cheap as shit, so it wouldn't surprise me that they gave him that they wouldn't want to pay that much money. I mean, Sebastian Aho, anybody?
Oh, appreciate it. And both of you guys, any last closing thoughts? Because we actually have a bit of a line here. I want to make sure I get to everyone. You guys, any closing thoughts?
I'm good, man. I was gonna leave before Rain came in, but I mean, I had to say hi to this big brain right here. So.
Oh God, why do people hype me up so much? I can't disappoint now.
The hype is deserved.
No, man, like the takes that you give are pretty legit. And you know what? It makes a lot of sense, right? So I'm hey, it might not be March 5th for you and I, Rain, but you're definitely coming on the show sooner than later. Remember that. We've been texting, so you know.
Yep.
There we go.
Yeah, and like I said, if Tyler doesn't have time for it, I am more than happy to go the Miller route. But although I will tell you, don't make too many plans when you book me, because I always go way longer than originally anticipated.
Yeah, it's gonna be the whole show if you come on. So, but that's what the whole show. But when the new channel comes out in March, we'll try to schedule something for you in maybe end of the season, April.
Okay.
But I'll be in touch with you on text.
Okay.
So, Whit, thank you for letting us come on. Love this for you. You doing your own show. It's been entertaining so far, and I love the.
I did have one comment about that. I did have one comment about about last week. So, on one hand, it's very entertaining. On one hand, it was very entertaining, but as someone who feels apathetic, I also felt like I was listening to pigeons squabbling in a parking lot over chicken rotisserie carcass. So.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. No, but put it this way. I think my last thought for this is Uncensored. I'm grateful for this right now because of last week. I for one, have tried to be credible, have tried to do my fact checks and everything, and I actually dropped the ball last week. So if you guys didn't watch that stream last week, go to Uncensored and rewatch it. Like I said, I want to say I'm grateful to Russell. Appreciate you, brother, just letting me come back on, redeeming myself. I appreciate it. And Whit, keep doing what you're doing. I like this. Hopefully Jordy has his own single, solo stream also. And then you guys have ones together and ones apart. I think it gives you a bit more versatility, and the show right now, you have a lot of people waiting to come chat with you. So congratulations and keep up the good work, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Ditto.
Thank you.
And last thought for me, I'm the wrong person to give raw emotion takes, but I'll rip you to shreds when it comes to life lessons and red flags. So
there we go.
Thank you. I can't wait. Thanks, Whit. We'll see you soon.
See you soon. All right. I'm going to bring on the next guest. Thank you, Rain. Thank you, G. We are going to bring on Swervin. What's up?
What's up, dog?
What's up?
Was this little impromptu show today?
Yeah, I wanted to do this for a while, and I actually wanted to do this on Saturday night, but I wasn't feeling too great. So, yeah. But now I am doing this. Yeah.
Are you not tired of the Petterson discourse?
Dude, I had to sit through. I mean, I wasn't doing all the talking. I was sitting there. I was like, oh man, like this is a crazy back and forth. But yes.
Did it just come up today because of the Sweden-Italy game?
No. I wanted to say something for a while, but I like to give other people the floor, and I wanted to separate my thoughts from Jordan's thoughts while giving everybody enough time. Yeah. Wait a second for Swerve. Probably just finding a better spot. Yeah. Last Friday was awesome. And this is why I'm here, is because I wanted to talk about Pettersson. And I think a lot of people do. Swerve, you're back.
Sorry.
There we go.
So I like to look at the whole picture with Pettersson. I know people like to just point at the 11.6 and he should be Crosby level, McDavid level, and that's in a way that's fair, but you have to look at the whole picture. If we go way back, he had 2 really hot years, and like you said, in that rookie season, he had nobody, and then he went from that to like elite wingers the next season. But then that off season, right after the bubble, and it's been mentioned on the radio waves recently, the exodus of the leadership.
Yeah.
From that team.
Leadership.
Right? You got Tanev, who was like dad to them, Hughes' partner. You got Toffoli, who was literally the best man at Tanner Pearson's wedding. You got Stetcher, who was a good buddy of Besser's in college and bled Canucks colors. And then you had Markstrom, who was, a countryman and by all accounts, a really good friend to Petey and a conduit between the players and the coach. And then following that, you also had Edler and Eriksson, who were elder Swedish statesmen who left the team too. Edler via free agency and Eriksson via trade. And we all know how that turned out. So yeah, I mean, you can say he's got to just suck it up and play, but as a young guy, that probably leaves you kind of twisting in the wind. On top of that, there was like compounding injuries, like during the North Division year, he had the wrist, which never really heals because there's like little bones in the wrist. You can't just like put it in a cast and then have at her. Following that, you remember there was the twin extensions with Hughes and Pettersson, and for some reason Hughes went 6 years and Pettersson went 3, which is kind of like, speaking of red flags, that's red flag number 1 for me.
That's huge.
So following that, where are we? We're at 22, 23. That's when we're in the really lean years with like crappy wingers, like was it Tim Schaller and like Alex Chazon, guys like that, like but still he dug himself out of that when Spudor came and still really showed that he was that, like, he had elite skill and could basically score from anywhere. And going into the 23-24 season, I'm so confused about what happened, because prior to Christmas, he was on like 120 point pace.
Yes.
I gotta assume that it was some sort of injury that coincided with that extension, the 11.6, that management basically made him sign. Because you remember, like the whole Carolina rumor was like to lean on him.
Dude,
right?
he was pretty much forced. Like, sign here, I want to trade you right now. It was a threat, pretty much. And he wanted to do it in the off season. Yeah, it was pretty much a threat.
I mean, what would you do? What would you do? Like, it wasn't him that signed the contract or that offered the contract. It's just him that signed it, right?
Yeah.
So now we're in this kind of holding pattern where it's like we're down. He's just representative of kind of the problem that's kind of throughout the team, but he's just kind of the whipping boy because he's the 11.6 man. But it's the same problem with the other guys who are supposed to be veterans, getting paid pretty handsomely and not really producing. And with all these guys, it's like, do you flip them and move on, or keep them and let them just keep, playing underwhelmingly? And the thing that you keep leading back to is like, sure, you can trade them, but it always leads back to a question of the management of what someone's going to ask, well, why did we do this deal?
Yeah.
And so I don't know if it's going to end well for anybody.
It's not, right. And you bring up a lot of good points, right? And that's why I said, like that contract, and then it being brought up that both of them could have signed long-term extensions, and one was 3 years, one was 6, right? A lot of the leadership was gone and never replaced. There's so many of these factors, right? And that's why I mentioned like everything. And this year, why did I not really talk about Petterson that much? It's because a lot of these other things or major factors, big contributors, right? And that's why last week I even said to Jordan, I said Petterson has his faults, but for some reason, like he's your whipping boy and he's your number one to blame. And I said for me on the team, he's not my number one to blame, but like of a lot of people's number ones, right?
You know what's funny is when we had Louis Eriksson and he was the $6 million man, it reminded me of like when I was younger and my little brother was getting yelled about by my mom, and I'm like, okay, yeah. I'm not going to be in trouble today because he's the one getting the attention. And then suddenly he was just thrust into that spot. And he became the guy, right? So this I know with the history always tells us with this market is they'll never be kind to the guys who are getting paid a lot. The players that we've always loved are guys like Burrows and Mott, Stan Smeel, Cliff Ronning, even Connor Garland. It's guys who really work hard and they want
even
like
Sherwood,
bang for the buck. But I really think that there is only so much Pettersson could have done with how much money he's making, because even when we've had elite level players, it's always about that price tag. Like Luongo, that was the big talking point for the longest time. Oh, is the $10 million goalie? Like he never wins the big game. So it's a really tough go for this market, which people are paying a lot to go to games and they can barely afford to buy a house. And then we're looking at like these players who are making millions upon millions, and then they're kind of shit in the bed every year. So I see both sides.
Yeah.
You just really hope that he can turn it around, but that's a big ask, Like I used to sing and play guitar, but that was in my 20s, and I can't just like make myself do that again. That would take time to get back to the place where I was, right? And so I look at like Pettersson, who was like used to be the 100-point guy, and we want him to just magically do it again. But again, it's kind of a big ask, I wish he could just take a pill and do it, or even at the very least look dangerous. Like, are you old enough to remember Pavel Bure's first game?
I remember it. Yeah. Watching it after I was live.
I wasn't even a fan at that point, but people still talk about it to this day, and that game wasn't even on TV. And the funny thing about it is that he didn't even have any points in that game, but they all talk about what they saw and how like here's this guy who's like play driving. Like you didn't have to squint and say like, hey, he's blocking shots, hey, he's doing back checks. It's like you just knew he was that guy. And right now we're just not seeing with Pettersson.
Well, Swerve, I want to ask you this. Like my take was he has a 70% confidence issue and 30% of it is injuries. Where do you stand as to explain like a big part as to why he's struggling right now? It's almost 3 years of this.
I think I agree with you. It's probably somewhere in the middle, and I think one bleeds into the other. When you hurt yourself in any sort of way, you become afraid to do those same things again. And for Pettersson, that's putting yourself out there, getting into the middle of the ice, battling for space amongst like these big hulking men, which he's not really one of them. So I just it's really night and day when you look at like old clips of him. You're like, where's that guy? He shoot from anywhere. He could find space. He'd do his dekes. Like,
He finds space
yeah,
with ease. You remember that, right? Like with ease, he would just skate behind a guy or go through people. It's crazy.
compared to is like I don't know if you follow basketball, but like guys like Ben Simmons and Russell Westbrook, where
Yeah, I don't know.
fans really believed in them. Like they were considered franchise guys, but
Yeah,
then it just things never aligned, and then they faltered. And then the longer time goes, it's like the harder it is to get back to what you think they're supposed to be.
yeah,
And with Pettersson, it's already we're going on our third year of this.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I really hope he turns it around. And I know you do too. Do you have any last thoughts before I bring on our next guest?
Last thoughts is we are obviously entering a rebuild, which feels weird to say because we've only had the president talk about it in kind of passing it in an article, and the owner has not talked at all. So we're just kind of assuming they're doing it. My thing with that is that I believe that we're not going to be able to truly turn the page until we we deal Pettersson. I know that's probably going to be at a loss, but it's something I think spiritually we have to do. Because as much as like fans are calling for like things like trade Camp, trade Kane, trade P.O. Joseph, I'm like that's going to do nothing, and no team wants our garbage, right? And fundamentally, like they're not that big a part of the team. So for us to really turn the page, start anew, we have to really take big bites out of the core.
And that's the one big remaining last bite, him and Besser, but
Yeah.
him for sure.
And I know with these guys that their fear of acquiring new talent supersedes their fear of keeping what they've have.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Swerve. I
All right.
appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Anytime. All right. Thank you, Swerve. Bring on our next guest. It's Russell. Oh my gosh.
What's up, my
Russell,
dude?
what's up?
Same
Yeah,
old, same
so nice
old.
to have you on.
Just hanging out, working on some
Love
stuff
it.
for the stream tomorrow. How are you doing, brother?
Good. I'm so happy to have you on. And normally it's both of us that got you on, or you got us on your show. But this time, I got Russell's on. I really want to be on. He's on. So
1v1.
1v1. There you
How
go.
excited are you to actually just cheer for a team that can win some games?
Actually, no joke. Actually, just losing is tough, and just like if it wasn't for Canucks.Uncensored, like I actually would just legit like have the TV off and just have the radio on. Like but right now I have to watch the games to talk about stuff. It's actually so painful, and I'm with you, man. And another year of Adam Foot hockey is gonna literally kill whatever brain cells I have left. Like it's actually
We can't. Can we? They can't.
Like-
They can't do it, right? Like they just. I mean, I think the most that I had Dave Hall on. Oh, what was it? Like a month or something ago, and I asked him like, can you compare and think about the job that Manny's done with his team to what Foot's done with his team? Because there's some very similar. There's some good comparables there because obviously when the Vancouver Canucks get hurt, then they have to take players from the Abbotsford Canucks, and thus they will have, a trash roster to work with. They were essentially playing with an ECHL, and I'm not saying that I'm hoping that Abbey will make the playoffs, but at this point, the Abbey Canucks are currently in a position where they could make a push for the playoffs. They're not dead last in the league by 7 points. And even though the last 2 games they've played with 11 forwards, one of those forwards being a defenseman, they've still been competitive. And so I think if I were to have seen the team improve in some way, shape, or form once they started getting healthy, then I'd say, okay, Adam Foote, maybe I was wrong. You can have another chance. Come back next year, and we'll see what we can do with a better roster. You'll probably have Braden Coots. You'll probably have Gavin McKenna. Like, there's going to be some more pieces. But the thing is that they've gotten healthy, and they have stayed trash. They are still trash. They haven't gotten better. In fact, I'd say they've probably gotten worse now that they are healthy. And so for me, that's like, oh, please, we don't need another year of this. Like, this is it's just terrible. It's probably bad for the development at this point.
Terrible, man. Terrible.
So Petey, everyone wants to talk about Petey. So I'm not going to say too much about it, but I will say that I got my co-host Dustin to run the numbers. And so tomorrow during the Rusty and Dusty Sideshow, when we're going to be live for the Canada game against Czechia, during the first intermission, Dustin is going to present his case to prove to everyone else that Petterson is as good as Datsuk. And he's got the numbers to back it up. And I know everyone's head just exploded in chat. But tomorrow during the Rusty and Dusty Sideshow, Dustin is going to put out his case for why Petterson is just as good as Datsuk, which, you know, sounds crazy. But when you actually read the numbers and look what he says and look at his argument, it makes a lot of sense. And it's crazy, but, you know, you'll have to tune into, you know, hear the actual details of that.
Definitely. I'll tune in.
Yeah. And then for like Sweden today, like, you know, how many Swedish people were like pooping their pants when they were at 2-2 against Italy, right? It was the pasta versus the meatballs, and somehow the pasta was actually overtaking the meatballs, and like it was crazy, right? Like, I mean, Gustafsson had like a Tommy Salo type moment where he dropped his stick and got scored on. Like, it was wild out there today. Biggest cheer you've heard for a goal like that. Like, the Italian crowd was going nuts. It was great to see. And then did you see any of the highlights from the Slovakia game against Finland?
No.
Goalied.
Yeah. Goalied?
Goalied. Like, it wasn't even that Finland played bad, but Slovakia's goalie, I think he made like 49 saves or something like that. Like, it was insane. So yeah, tough start, but I always like to remind people for a tournament like this, Italy's been playing together as a team for a while now, right? Whereas Sweden had just slapped together a roster, had 2 practices and going in. And I get that it was close, but historically, these teams that are made up of mostly NHL players do struggle out of the gate. So even if they're, you know, I mean, it won't be as much for Czechia because there's some content coming from the NHL, but they do have quite a bit of their roster is made up from European leagues and stuff like that and their national teams. So I wouldn't even be surprised to see Czechia come out and take the lead to start against Canada tomorrow. So I just hope everyone doesn't freak out when that happens because there's a good chance. But Whit, I want to ask you a question.
Yeah, for sure.
Are they going to start Binnington tomorrow?
I think they have to. I cringe when I say this, but I think that they have to. Even though he did win for us, we already know how he can be, right? But you know, that game where we won, we needed him. We needed him, and he made some monster saves. Okay. I honestly thought it was over when Matthews took that shot, but he said no, right? So right, like. So Binnington, yeah, I think he's going to. You think so too? Or
yeah, I think it'll start Binnington tomorrow. Probably. It's kind of the Canadian way. You've seen that from Olympics to Olympics and international tournaments. Like you saw it. Martin Brodeur started the Olympics in 2010. Luongo took over once it became clear that it was a better option. So you'll probably see the same thing. I'd say Binnington gets the start. If he plays well, he keeps the net. If he can't keep his shit together, he probably gets chucked to the side. But then I guess my next question for you is, if Binnington doesn't perform, who are you thinking out of the other 2 goalies, the Calgary native Thompson or Darcy Kemper, who has a Stanley Cup? Who do you think would be their next best option for their net?
Thompson's on Calgary, and then Kemper is where?
Sorry, Thompson is from Calgary, so he's a Calgary. From Calgary. My hometown, but he actually plays for Washington. And then
he's on Washington.
And then Kemper won the Stanley Cup with Colorado a couple years back. Yeah. So he's got that like high stakes, you know, pressure cooker situation. Yeah. So I probably lean towards Kemper getting the start after Binnington. But also there's something to be said. I think Thompson is probably actually the better of the 3 goalies. But who knows? It's a very short tournament, so anything could happen.
Yeah, I think I would go with the experience next. It's weird because normally you would say you would play the best guy, but the best guy might not even play.
Yeah,
the whole talent, right? Like, you hear that? Like, you understand that? Like, that's so funny.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. No, it's gonna be fun though. Yeah, it's gonna be lots of fun. early too. Are you going to be up? Like, are you going to be able to watch it tomorrow morning, or do you have to work in the morning?
I have to work all the mornings, so I'm thinking that a couple of these sacrifices to wake up early will be for the later games. I
Yeah.
I can't do it. Not to be able to function.
You can just put on my stream, just have it in your ear. I'll do the play-by-play for you. I'll keep you up to date.
Well, in that case, I'll just sleep with these on. I won't miss anything. You got me covered. Russell's got me covered. And they're got another goal. There we go.
Yeah.
And I'll wake
No,
up to that.
I mean, literally, I think I'm on the same page as you. Like, I think I'm so sick of the PD narrative. I think I'm just over it. It's just too much. It's just all the time. Like, I want to talk about something else. It's just painful.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I don't know, were you like here when I started the show at the very beginning, or you?
I didn't hear your take on PD.
You didn't, or you did?
No, I didn't hear it.
No.
What was your take on PD?
I showed a lot of clips of or not clips. I showed stats of how like all his like shot and his speed and like all those stats went down, and then I questioned and asked why that happened, and I came up with the conclusion that it's 70% to do with confidence and 30% of it has to do with lingering injuries. I still believe the wrist or the knee is still bothering him in some way, because if he didn't care, he's not going down to block shots. He ain't doing all that stuff. That was my take. And then some people, fired back a little bit and like said some like other stuff. And I was just like, you know what? Like I think if he's been bullied into playing, then that's also shame on management, right? Like if the guy's truly injured, then just let him sit out. Like this is crazy, right? And even Jordan chimed in. He's just like, well, like why is he playing if he's injured? I'm like, do you know our management? Do you know how many players played with broken foot, broken hands, and then no one would listen and they ended up leaving? How many misdiagnoses that this regime has done alone? I wouldn't put it past them that they did that to PD, right? On one hand, though, I would say that, like him taking accountability to the media, of course, he could do that a little bit better. He just kind of shot himself in the foot because this is Vancouver media and you don't get away with saying anything close to not taking accountability. That's what I said, right?
Yeah.
And that was pretty much like my whole take. And then the one take that might go against a little bit about what you were saying was I compared him to the 2018-2019 season. I think that was his rookie season. And then he had like, Besser, and he had like Goldobin, Louis Eriksson. He had a whole bunch of shit like wingers, and he didn't really have a whole bunch of support, and he still pulled up 0.9 points per game. And then this season, he arguably has better wingers, and he's still, going to be having some trouble cracking the 60 point. So I said, I understand that that's going to be a bit of a struggle, and then that's where we were at. So that was my take. But PD shouldn't be the number one blame. I also made that very clear. Like the construction of the roster, the lack of veterans, like all those things were the things that I said I would go to first. And then I also did the solo stream I mentioned at the beginning because I said I want my thoughts to be separate from Jordan. Jordan's thoughts about PD, nice, blunt, and simple. He did it to get paid and laid. I said, no, that's not my perspective. Right? Like I wanted to make it clear that was not mine. I go after management first before anything else and the ownership before I even go there. Right? I had a tougher time. I was harder on PD last year because I did feel like if he got more points, we would have made it into the playoffs. How far we would have got is a different story. This year, you get him 10 or 20 more points. He gets more. We're still mushy middle, away from the lottery pick, but not good enough to be a playoff team. So why am I shitting on the guy? That was my take. For some reason, Jordan likes to do his default and blame PD all the time. He can do what he wants to do. That's separate from me. And I made it very clear at the beginning, and people are like, that's awesome. So I want to do my own show sometimes. Yeah.
You're a two-headed monster. So sometimes one head has a different thoughts than the other one, right?
Yes. No, Russ. I appreciate like everything that you say, right? And we can agree to disagree, right? And and I really appreciate your points, right? Like I would say stuff that you might not 100% agree to too, but you still not agree. But I can see your point and stuff, and I think that's what it's all about, right? So.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And I mean that at the end of the day, it's all just opinions, right? We're all just a bunch of couch coaches, right? So anyone's opinion can be just as valuable as anyone else, but at the end of the day, it just comes down to what ends up happening on the ice, right? So I mean, like it we've been through it, right? Like when you're a 32nd place team, there is a lot of blame to go around. There's more blame to go around on this team than any other team in the league this year. But then I always still just come back to like, I feel like the entire fan base and the Vancouver media has also forgotten how devastating the injuries were to this team as well to start the year. And so a large part of, right? Like there are over 300 man games lost and we're only 58 games in or whatever it is, right? So like it has devastated this team and especially at center. And that has trickle down effects in a whole bunch of different ways. But I mean, and I give a lot of crap to Besser too, but I also think that I've accepted the fact that Brock Besser's not a play driving player. I've accepted him for what he is. He's a good piece to have with another guy. If you put him on a line with a JT Miller type player, he's going to score 40 goals, and he showed that. But he's not going to be the guy who's going to go out there and make his centerman better, right?
No.
And then Besser as well, you have to look at the fact that when it came down to the clutch time, who's the man who was scoring in the playoffs against Nashville, right? So why would you want to get rid of a guy like that? So I don't want to get rid of Besser. DeBrusk, on the other hand, he's my new whipping boy. Like I'm sick of DeBrusk, right? Like he is bad. You can count on, I think he's come out of the corner with the puck like 4 or 5 times the entire season so far. It's terrible. Like he needs to figure out how to be a better asset to this team because the difference is I feel like Jake DeBrusk is more of a defensive liability than Brock Besser, and they're very similar players. But I feel like you're going to get more out of Brock Besser than you are out of Jake DeBrusk when they're not scoring, right? Obviously, you want both of them to be scoring, but there has to be something to said for, I mean, it's the old comparison between JT Miller and EP40. When JT Miller's not scoring, he's a defensive liability, blind, backhand passes into the slot. Whereas when Petey's not scoring, at least he's very responsible defensively. So, and when you're a 32nd place team, you got to split hairs like that.
Like we haven't even seen. I mean, I hope we even see it at least once, like before the trade deadline. I do want to see Petterson, Rossi, Hito, Bluger down the middle. I just want to see it before the trade deadline, just to see what it could look like. Give me some hope. Give me a game to look forward to. I mean, that's not even some crazy ask. That's just without man games lost. Let's just see what this can actually do. We got a second line center for once that can take some of PD's hard matchups away, right? Mm-hmm. So now Rossi himself also needs to be healthy, right? So I just want to see it once, right? Yeah,
we're kind of back to where we were at the beginning of the season, right? The top defensive pair and the best defensive line is out against PD now, right? Like, and it was the same thing at the beginning of the year, right? Like he was getting all the hardest matchups all the time, 24/7, because you don't need to check any of the other lines because they're not going to be as deadly as you would get from a Petterson driven line. But, and as we already talked about too, right? Like Evander Kane's terrible and Jake DeBrusk has a 1% shooting percentage at 5-on-5, right? So like, it's tough all around. And so for me, there's certain pieces I want to get rid of, obviously. And I think DeBrusk has made his way into that category. But yeah, I mean, I still, in a season like this, you can't have a fire sale. And I've seen too many times as a Canuck fan where it's like, oh crap, we gave up on that guy too early. Now he's flourishing somewhere else. And that would be the most Canuck thing to happen would be Petey getting traded somewhere and ending up getting 100 points 3 seasons in a row afterwards. Like, look at Bo Horvat. People said Bo Horvat was too soft, and he's a perennial 30 goal scorer, and he's on Team Canada. Wouldn't that be nice to have somebody on Team Canada right now?
It would be amazing. And that guy, people say he was capped at like 60 points, 70 points. When his season with us was the best he'll ever get, and he was like point per game now, and good enough to be on Team Canada. Come on, we do something wrong there. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I love Hronek, but like, makes you question something sometimes, right? But good on Bo, honestly.
Yeah. Who are you most excited to watch on Canada that you would normally boo because you hate them and or their team?
I don't know, but I don't know why I hate Binnington so much, but I need to cheer for this guy even if for a few seconds. Everybody else I love to watch. I'm like, I'm glad McKinnon's here. Like, I'm glad these guys are here. You know what I mean? I look at the foreground. I'm like, I'm glad these guys are here. Crosby's here. Like, I'm glad all the defense is here. Right? I'm so glad, right? It's just the Binnington factor. I don't know why it's so easy to dislike the guy. It's hilarious. I don't even hate McDavid. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I actually don't. I mean, I think a couple of times I'm like, yeah, he's being a crybaby, yeah, whatever. But like, I've gotten over that, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, the same thing was said about Crosby. The same thing was said about
right.
Crosby, right? Like they were all called crybabies because eventually they just shut their mouths and do what they can because they realize that crying's not going to do anything, but it takes a while. And McDavid really doesn't cry anymore. He draws a lot of penalties because he's really damn fast, and you know you can't blame the guy for that. So it's part of the game, and now we get to watch him score goals for us rather than score goals against us. And when he scored the goal in the game, the Four Nations face-off, I jumped out of my seat and screamed. Right, like it was awesome.
Yeah,
it was assisted by Mitch Marner. Like I think some people are forgetting too. The Four Nations, Mitch Marner assisted on the game-tying goal and the game-winning goal. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Mitch Marner do some actually crazy stuff for Canada this Olympics as well. So I think those are kind of my two guys. Like I think I probably hate Mitch Marner more than. It's pretty close to hating him more than Binnington because just like his persona and the things that are said about him and like kind of his aura and his posse and like all that kind of stuff. He just kind of seems like your classic like rich kid whose dad's a big old dickhead and all that kind of stuff. But like I said, for the next 3 weeks, he's our man. And if he can get points for us, then it doesn't really matter whether you think he's a nice guy or not off the ice. It's whether or not he can put pucks in the net and set people up and get the gold back to Canada.
That's it. The gold's got to come home. That's it.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. Russell, you got me covered, man. I appreciate you.
I got you, dude. I appreciate you. You guys keep up the grind. I did a little video with Jake's Takes Hockey today. And I was like, this is what I'm all about. Like the people that I want to work with on YouTube are the ones like you guys that are out here grinding. You're putting out the content, right? It's not easy and it's easy to get down, but we're in the middle of a 32nd place season and Canucks.Uncensored is still covering the team and getting content out there. So big props to you guys for keeping it up. And we'll have a big old party at Rogers Arena sometime when we're doing a live stream from the Jim Robson broadcast gondola, and I'll have all the people up there with us, and it'll be a good time.
Let's do it, man. Appreciate it, man.
Cool. Thanks for having me on, buddy.
Thank you. Take care.
Cheers, Whit.
Yeah, cheers. All right. Make sure you follow Russell. Nothing is perfect. Like and subscribe. He's always coming down, supporting everybody's show. Really appreciate it. Right. And we all just passionate, Canuck people, sharing our thoughts, being respectful about everything. So thank you. Bobby.
Hello.
What's up?
Nothing much. You?
Good. I'm here. And you're here. What's on your mind?
I'm just I'm hoping Vancouver wins so much. Like, I'm tired of them losing.
You're tired of them losing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the losing is tough to watch, right? And we got 25 more games left. And, realistically, we might win 5, maybe 7 of those games. So we're going to be losing a lot more, whether we like it or not.
Yeah, I was telling Clay when he had open mic, why is Vancouver Canucks not playing for Team Canada?
Yeah. You got no one. Yeah.
And I also watched PD played. That was a good game.
How do you think PD did?
He did good.
Yeah. He did good?
Yeah. I think it was sweet. Yeah, he was playing for Sweden, and the other goalie who played PD got hurt.
You got hurt?
Yeah, the goalie.
The goalie got hurt.
Yeah, who was bursting PD.
Okay, I see. Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah. And you said Petterson played well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah? So I heard he was a net front presence. Is that true? Screening and goalie and stuff, making some plays? Yeah?
Yeah, I thought you were going to have everybody else on together.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. We'll see. I want to get everyone on next time. But, I want to get as much as we can because I got to talk and then I got to get certain guests to go on. I got to read a lot of the comments, right? Right now we're at 2 hours. I got to call it a day very, very soon.
You should come on Russell's live stream sometime.
I do. I go on.
Yeah.
I do go on sometimes, but the times I'm on, I don't see you on. I've seen you on a few times though. Yeah.
Yeah, you should go on there sometimes. Like all of us should have an open mic with Russell.
Oh yeah, I'll go on to wherever show. We all support each other. So, Bobby, do you have any other thoughts about the Canucks? You talked a little about PD, talked about Canucks needing to win more games. Anything else?
I just want Team Canada to win gold.
Oh, that's the dream. Do you have a favorite player in Team Canada?
Too bad Besser's not playing. Macklin Celebrini.
Oh, what a great player that is, right?
Yeah, Clay asked me who's gonna play for the last game. I was like, Czechia and Team Canada.
I love it. That's awesome. Let's get some more hype for Canada. Let's let's win all the games. Let's win that gold medal. Let's bring the medal home. Okay, you agree?
Yeah.
Let's bring home the gold.
Yeah,
Right,
and the
Bobby?
ribbons start tomorrow, so I have to get up around 6:00 a.m.
Yeah, that's good. Maybe I'll wake up a little bit early just to watch it. I might just head to bed.
Or you can watch Russell's live stream. Like his is at 7.
Yeah, so I might catch a little bit of that before work. I might just listen to it on the way down.
Yeah.
That's the way. Well, Bobby, I appreciate you being such a big supporter of all our shows. Honestly,
I wish you
always
guys
here.
I wish you guys had memberships
Memberships too.
for you guys too.
Oh yeah, you know what? I think we're needing to hit 500 subs to do something like that. I think that's what you mean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll get there soon, right? With the support like you and other people, we're gonna get there. So really
Thanks for
appreciate it.
having me on, and go Canada, go.
Go Canada, go! Appreciate you. Thank you, Bobby.
You're welcome.
All righty, Bobby. Appreciate you being on here, and I think we're down to one last guest. It is a return of the G. Here we go.
Bro, no. I'm not here for that. I was just what the hell? Okay, cool. Whatever.
You gotta sign us off now.
Bro, I was just backstage looking after your thing. I was looking after your thing because you don't check your private chats, and sometimes the layout is not great. So I was just backstage trying to manage that just in case.
Oh, I didn't know that you could do that for me. I appreciate that. Oh. Yeah.
No, I'm just support because should we say because we're sharing a channel now. I mean, you can help me out, I can help you out, kind of thing. And sharing an account. Yeah. So that's why I was just here trying to make sure all your back end stuff was okay. But yeah.
Thank you.
I loved it. I think this show was great. I was trying to be your Ryan today in the backstage, trying to manage stuff.
Yeah.
And I can't believe you pulled me on.
Ryan gotta go on the show sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. Here, let me ask you a few questions for the viewers. How did you feel about your stream today? Your solo gig today?
I think it's okay. I think it's not bad. Like I really wanted to practice getting guests on, managing the comments, managing the images on the screen. I did my best. I wanted to not be dry about my facts, so I try to change my tone and talk, and I hope it did okay. I hope and I wanted to make sure that I had my voice separate from Jordan, but I also love doing dual shows with him, so I hope I accomplished that.
Because I mean to be honest, it's usually Jordan leading the show for you guys, and then you're doing all your stats, analytics, and all of that. But to be very honest today, I think you did great. I think the flow of it went very well. But everyone that's in chat that's still here, I mean, the numbers haven't really gone down much. But if you think Whit did a good job, let's throw a W up in chat, man. give him some support, and make sure this guy does more. And then we'll be looking forward to Jordan doing a solo show, and then you guys back together again for more of the Canucks games.
Yeah. No, I really appreciate it. I can't wait. Like, honestly, like, we got a couple weeks here. I mean, depending on any Canuck news that we hear, whatever, we're definitely going to talk about that. But, I'm going to do some Team Canada stuff for sure. That we don't normally do something outside of Canada, but or not Canada, outside of Canuck stuff. But definitely going to talk some, Team Canada hockey for sure. And I'm super hyped for it. Got to get a Team Canada jersey too. Don't have one.
If we meet up to watch a game, I can lend you one. You see, I have an extra one back there.
Yeah. Ooh,
this one's the old school. This one's the old school Canada hockey, and then that one's the 2010 Olympics. But yeah, look at all the support you have in chat, man. There's so many W's there, and it's just crazy. So you got a lot of support,
this is
brother.
Awesome. I appreciate it, man. Like, look at this. No, I gotta look at these comments, man. Dude, man, you got me covered or what? Look at that. I had to. I'm going through the comments like, no, I gotta show it. This is gold, man.
Bro,
Man,
I'm just supporting. I was not expecting to come back on. I was just here for a brother, just trying to make sure he does well. And you got Russ throwing jabs at me again, but loved his take. He's always a class act. He's a class act. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
So do you want to go through any more comments before you sign off, or how are you gonna end this?
Michael, I think I'm gonna go through a few more. I won't be able to go through all of them. Yeah. Buyout. Man, swerve. W. That's hilarious. And then I think Tyler. Somebody said Tyler wants to hop on.
Look at this.
Look at that. Look at that.
Look at Stevie. Stevie, look at that. Appreciate all the hype, man. You guys are all awesome. Like, I love doing like this stuff, this show. Like, you guys don't know like how much like this means to me. Like, I grind out a lot of those infographics, and then researching stuff behind the scenes all the time. Like, I sometimes I stay up till 3 a.m. just grinding and just doing stuff, posting content at 8 a.m. or whatever. It's a big grind, but I love doing it. I'm super passionate about it, and I haven't lost any of the fire. So I'm always wanting to give the best perspectives out there for everybody. I give general perspectives, and then I also give my own, right? I gave my pretty, like my thoughts about PD, and I try to give, as many sides as I can, because everything is about all the information put together, right? So it's about all perspectives, right? And I still can't get it all, right? And that's okay, because I have all of you. So, really appreciate it. Exactly. I mean, I'll be doing this soon. I've been doing a bit of this with Tyler also, and we can't do this without your support. And I mean, just looking on the chat, bro, like, you have all the support you need. And I'm happy for you guys. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for Jordan. Excited for Russ's stream in, what is it, like 9 hours? Yeah. So if you're up, make sure you check out Russ at Nothing Is Perfect. And he'll be doing the play-by-play, especially in Witt's ear, while he's sleeping and getting ready for work.
I got to do that one. I'm going to go a couple more comments here, and then we'll go. Yeah. Hey, I see your comment, Tyler. Next time. Yeah, I got to sign off. I apologize. It's been over 2 hours. Yeah. Kepner, you grind too, man. The content grind is real. Appreciate you. Put out a lot of good stuff. Not 3 a.m., but you do grind, so it's awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it. Support you, Justin. I'll see you on the next show. Really appreciate it. Oh my God. We're almost there, guys. Okay. I got to do the outro now. Okay. So,
cool.
Everyone, I really appreciate everyone. Please subscribe to everyone that's content creator in here. Thank you for your support. Really appreciate you all. This has been Canucks Uncensored. This is a Wit solo edition. If you like our content, please like and subscribe. This is Canucks Uncensored, unfiltered, and uncensored commentary about your Vancouver Canucks. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, YouTube, X, and we'll see you next time.